So good morning, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. Today, we're going to be talking to Patty from Counseling. So we're going to talk about some of the supports they offer. And then after the question period, we'll have Ashley here from our Wellness Center. And if I could just ask everybody to keep themselves muted during the presentation, and then I will turn it over to Patty, and I will give you co-host ability so that you'll be able to share your screen. You should now be able to share your screen. Perfect. So we are able to see your screen, but you're still muted.
Perfect. How's that?
Wonderful.
All right. So good morning, everyone. My name is Patty Dupont Martinez, and I am one of the counselors, personal counselors here at Counseling and Accessibility Services at Fanshawe. So thank you, Krista, for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. So can you see there we go. That's better. All right. So I am here today just to talk to you guys about what Counseling and Accessibility Services here at the college is able to provide for you. So we are excited that you're joining. We're excited that you're here. We know that all of you have a lot of goals and a lot of, I'm sure, things that you want to do when you arrive. And so here at Counseling and Accessibility Services, we provide you with free, confidential counseling services. So our office is located on F building on F2010. And you can call, here's the number on the screen, 519-452-4282 to schedule an appointment, or you just can come to the office and ask for an appointment. We're providing phone call appointments, virtual appointments, in Zoom or in person. We see, in our department, we have two main teams. One is the personal counseling team. That's where I work. And there's another team that is called accessibility counselors, which I will talk to you in a second. So in the personal counseling, what we provide is we see a lot of students who, like you, are sometimes new to Canada, new to London. They're thinking about what is the experience is going to be of being new. So when we go somewhere new, we have a hard time adjusting to the new environment, to food, to cultures, to the weather. So some students tend to, at the beginning, it's okay, but as time goes by, they start to missing home and a lot more other things. So sometimes they can feel lonely. Sometimes they feel like they need to talk to someone, and that's what we're here for. We also see a lot of students who have high levels of stress or anxiety because they're having a hard time adjusting to the new curriculum here in Canada. So sometimes navigating like school and home and finances or a job, that tend to be stressful. So we see students for those type of things. Sometimes relationships problems are also something that tends to surface, especially if you're far away from home, or if it's depression, or if it's an addiction or problems with roommates. We see all sorts of things. So please, if this is something that you're feeling like you're struggling with, don't feel afraid to reach out. Like I said, our services is confidential. Your professors don't have any access to our notes or to our database. So really, nobody knows that you're in counseling unless you tell them. Okay. We also offer what is called group counseling. So group counseling is more like with a lot more students join for a specific purpose. So we have like groups about mindfulness and how to cope with stress, anxiety, depression, in wellness workshops. So for example, sometimes we have like meditation, or we have like how to manage sleep, or how to deal with anxiety when you're given presentations. So we have different types of groups running the whole year. So you can see it on our counseling and accessibility site when you are at the college, at the FOL, Fanshawe Online. So the other group of colleagues that work with me is what they call the Accessibility Services counselors. So Accessibility Services is here to provide students, across campuses with a different type of services. As you know, it says here, we see approximately 3,500 students a year for that. So Accessibility Services here to provide students who have different types of needs. For example, students who have had a brain injury, or with autism, or with attention deficit, or with it's a chronic illness that prevents students from sitting for long periods of times in class, or if they have like hearing or vision impaired, if they have anxiety, depression, and because of the anxiety, depression, attention tends to be an issue, or the ability to manage anxiety with assignments is an issue. So if it's a diagnosis of depression, or if it isn't, but you have the symptoms, this is when accessibility counseling can help. Or students who have mobility issues and they need, special chairs or something because of a back problem. So communication issues. So disability services look at all kinds of different barriers that students may have while they're in school because of a physical or mental health issue. Okay. Here, this slide shows to you the different types of disability. So if you can see, a lot of the students we see is issues related to mental health, learning disability, attention deficit, medical things, medical conditions, autism, brain injury, like I said, vision or hearing impairments. So that just goes to show you all the different types of things that our department can help students facilitate with. When a student come to us and say, I have this condition, or I am dealing with this and I need help, what we do is we put in place what is called academic accommodations. So like it says here, academic accommodations is a document that states that a student, it doesn't tell, so this letter is done to communicate your professors that there's something that we have identified as a disability, that it needs an accommodations, or it needs a special attention. So we don't tell the professors what it is, and you don't have to tell professors what it is. But the accessibility counselor will be able to sit with you, assess what the issue is, and put different things in place. So we put what is called an interim accommodation while we wait for a document that supports that. So for example, an accommodation could be that we will give students extra time for tests or exams. If, like, let's say it's a diagnosis of anxiety or depression, and the students get really anxious during a test and they run out of time because of anxiety, or because they're not able to concentrate on what they're reading. And you can be studying the night before and be prepared, but when you get to to do the test, anxiety takes over. And then, you pull a blank, nothing comes, and then you run out of time. So those are some of the examples that in extra time for tests could be. We also have a service that is called Note Taking Services. So if a student, let's say, has a attention deficit or a learning disability, a note taker will take notes in class. And then after the lecture is done, they upload those notes to the website. And then you can go and see those notes. We also have like textbooks in alternative format for different needs. We have a special furniture, like I said before, if it's an injury that a student cannot sit in a regular chair. So all what this is trying to do is we try to accommodate as best as we can. So students who are dealing with any source of a disability, they don't find a barrier that prevents them from learning, for successful learning while they are students of Fanshawe. Okay, how all of this comes together is that if you're a student who have, like I say, any source of a disability or physical condition that is preventing you from performing really well at school, I really, really encourage you to register with Accessibility Services. And here is the link. So all you have to do is go to fanshawe.ca, early ID, and it's only a registration that takes you not even 5 minutes. And it will help you to go through the steps. You complete it, and then we will get in touch with you to follow up with the process. After that, we will ask that you submit any documents you have supporting the disability. So if it's a letter from the doctor or a report that you have, if you don't have one, we can connect you with the doctor here at the clinic that we have in main campus on Oxford Street. We have a full clinic that has doctors and we even have a psychiatrist. So if you don't have a document and we will refer you to them, they will assess and they will provide that document for you after an assessment, of course. And so that's what it means by submit your documentation if available, like I said. So if you don't have it available, we will help you to get it. And after that, you need to attend an accessibility service orientation. So it's something like it happens in Zoom that they will help you. Someone will explain to you what being connected with accessibility service is about. And they will give you all the proper information that sometimes in the first appointment is so necessary for you when you're new to the college to know. So they explain to you services available, how the lab work, how would you use the test center, all those different things. And you need to meet with your accessibility counselor after you fill that registration, who is going to assess all of those needs. So basically, the most important thing that I just really encourage you from this presentation is to stay connected at the college. We have a lot of services. I know there's a lot of information that you're probably hearing at first, but just remember, Counseling and Accessibility Services is here for you. It really is. And like I say, we have worked with international students for many years, and I think that a lot of international students sometimes, what they say to us is that they really feel better when they feel like they are connected, when someone is listening, when someone who is impartial is able to provide them with services and supports. So that's basically it for me. I think we can hold questions to the end, Krista. Is that how it is?
Yes, we can either do questions now if you'd like, so that you can then finish the session and Ashley can start, or we can wait till the end. Probably makes
However,
sense.
if anybody has, whatever works, yeah.
Yeah, so if anybody has questions, you're welcome to pop them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and just ask Patty directly. And this might be something that becomes more useful knowledge base once they're here and they're experiencing the different experiences and want to reach out that informed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, totally. Okay.
If there's no questions, then we will let Patty go and she gets a little bit of time back in her day.
Okay. Well, like I said, if there's any questions, please, like I said, there's the information, counseling and accessibility. We're here for you. We really are. And we just wish you all the best. And we're happy that you chose Fanshawe for your studies, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you, Patty.
Okay. Thank you, Crystal.
Okay, and Ashley, I've gone ahead and made you a co-host, so you should be able to share your screen and follow through with your presentation.
Oh, it says you've disabled screen sharing.
Oh, I wonder if that something happened. Make co-host. Yes. Now is it working?
Now it's working.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, let me find this one. Okay, so you guys can see my screen? Okay, let me just start this up. Okay, so my name is Ashley. I'm here from the Wellness Center, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the programming that we offer. We have lots of different programming that's coming back in the fall. Some of it's back in some capacity now, but we're really excited to kind of take this facility back to what it used to be before COVID. So I'm going to talk to you about some of those programs and services today. The first thing we always like to mention when we do these presentations is that healthy, well-balanced students are also successful students. So that's really what we promote here at the Wellness Center. And I know Patty touched on this as well, that having that kind of well-balanced in all areas of your life, not just in academics, is really important. And the Wellness Center is here for you to help you with some of that stuff, as well as a lot of the other student services that you'll see over the course of this series. So our main goal here at the Wellness Center is to connect your education, your career, and your lifestyle in an easily manageable way. So basically what that means is that we want to be able to give you the tools that you need to be able to learn effectively, as well as manage your lifestyle in a healthy way, that will help you to build that thriving lifestyle here at Fanshawe, in all areas, not just in your education, because obviously that's why you're here and that is the biggest piece of it, but there's a lot of other pieces to that overall wellness as well. So the first thing I want to talk about here at the Wellness Center is activating your membership, because this is the #1 question we get. If you guys want to take a picture of this slide, then you'll have this information. But as long as you are a full-time student in the fall, you will have access to the Student Wellness Center facility. And I'm going to show you some pictures in a minute of what the facility looks like if you've never seen it. But it's a very simple process. You start by logging into your WebAdvisor account. Under that main student menu, you'll click on you'll scroll down to the miscellaneous information section. And right at the top of that section, there's a form called the Wellness Center Get Active questionnaire. You click on that, you fill out the 8 questions that it is, and you hit submit. It's as simple as that. 24 hours after you do that, your student card will become your tap access into this facility. So you do have to have a student card to come into this facility, and odds are you'll get that in the first few days or week of school that you're here, if you can't get it beforehand even. Just a special note here that full-time students who attend a campus in London, this applies to. That includes downtown and includes London South. So if you are at either one of those campuses, you also get access to this facility included in your tuition. If you are at a satellite campus outside of those 3 locations, you can purchase a membership to the Wellness Center, but it's not included in your tuition. So there is a fee for that. It's about $54 for the semester, so for 4 months. So it's very affordable, but I presume most of you guys will either be at the main campus or at one of those campuses in London, so that shouldn't be a problem for you. Our hours of operation in the fall, we are expanding from what we are now. So in the fall, we're going to be Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. We do have a rock wall and a golf simulator here on site. Those hours are typically a little bit different. All of that information will be updated on our website once it's finalized, but the facility is open during those hours. Unfortunately, we're not a 24-hour facility, so you will only be able to use the facility within the hours that you see on the slide there. Now for the fun stuff. To start, we have 2 floors of fitness equipment. So we are a 3-story facility, and 2 of those 3 floors is fitness equipment. We have tons and tons of equipment. We have things, this is just a small section of what we have, but we've got treadmills, bikes, ellipticals, benches, we've got power racks or squat racks, whichever you prefer to call them. We've got weight machines and so much more. And we have some really exciting stuff coming in at the end of August that will be here for you guys when you start in the fall. That's new for us as well. So we're super excited about that. So stay tuned to our website, our socials for all of that, and you'll get to see some of the new stuff that's coming as well. We do offer free services that come with your membership. So if you are a member of the Student Wellness Center, these are a few things that you get access to. The first one is an in-body assessment. That is what you see in the picture there. Basically, it's a fancy scale that you get to stand on. It does give us your weight, but it also gives us additional information like your body fat, your muscle mass, your total body water, and it breaks all of those things down for you in a really easy printout that you get to take with you. We recommend that people come in and have these done about once a month. Typically, if you do them any more frequently than that, you don't see those results happening. But when you do them about once a month, it's a really great way to monitor progress. We also have a program called our fitness orientation. And basically, you will come in and you will meet one-on-one with one of our trainers. And we will build a beginner program for you, which is really cool. It gives you something to start with, especially if you're new to fitness or new to this facility even, because I know sometimes you're experienced in fitness, but you come into a new facility, you don't know where anything is, you don't know how to use the machines because they look a little different than the last gym you were at. Come and see us, book a fitness orientation, and we will walk you through all of that stuff. You do get an in-body assessment included with your fitness orientation as well. So you don't need to book necessarily both of those if you're going to book the orientation. But that's a really, really popular service. And we typically do a huge number of those through the first month of school anyways. So check that out. The third free service that you get is group fitness classes. I didn't include a lot of information about the group fitness classes here because I was trying to keep it short and sweet. But on our website, all of that information will be being updated in the next couple of weeks because we are finalizing our schedule for the fall. So there you'll find the schedule, you'll find different descriptions of the classes and all of that information, as well as how to book those appointments. All 3 of those things on the screen there, you do need to book ahead of time. And there will be more information in the coming weeks about that as we are in the process of switching over our software system. We do offer personal training. This will be coming back a little bit into the semester, probably not right away. We're looking into October or November. We'll be bringing personal training back. You do receive a free consultation if you're interested in personal training or you think it might be a fit for you. You can always book a free consultation. If it ends up that it's not what you're looking for, it's no obligation, but we will help you find something that does fit your needs. But if you are interested in personal training and you decide to pursue that, you work one-on-one with our certified personal trainers who are on site here, and they build you a program that is completely individualized to your needs and your goals. So that can be a really great option. I just want to point out that personal training is a paid service. I'm working on finalizing the pricing for that, but it is a paid service. So personal training is not included in your membership. All of those services I talked about on the last slide are included, so there's no fees for those. We also have lots of other fun amenities in the Student Wellness Center. You'll see in the top corner there our rock climbing wall, which is very popular, especially as more and more students come back to campus. We're really excited to see that thrive. We have a couple of different options for rock climbing. If you are new to rock climbing, you've never climbed before and you want to try it, please come in and try it. Because we welcome all abilities. The rock climbing wall is always staffed with somebody who will help you put on your harness. They will give you all the tips and tricks. They will show you how to clip into the auto belays and all of that good stuff. So if you have any concerns about that, no need. We do always have somebody staffed in there that can help you with any of those questions. We also have a golf simulator on site. That's kind of that second picture there. This is growing in popularity, and we are looking at bringing Learn to Golf sessions in this fall. So we will hopefully be running those, and then there'll also be just open time where you can come in, book the simulator, and play with your friends. The third picture there is squash. So we do have a squash court. We do have equipment available for all of those things. So for the climbing, for the golf, and for the squash. So if you don't have equipment, don't let that stop you. You can come in and borrow the equipment we have and still have an opportunity to take advantage of those services. The final thing I added in here, we do currently have Fanshawe Conservation Area Park Passes available for students. So you can come to our desk, you can rent one of those out for 24 hours. Fanshawe Conservation Area is not far from the college, and it's a space where you can go. There's hiking trails there, there's different and cycling trails. You can also like rent canoes and kayaks and that kind of stuff and get out on the water. So that the rental prices for those things are not included in this pass, but this pass will get you into the park, and you're able to take advantage of some of those things. And you get to rent this out for 24 hours. You rent out one pass and it's good for 4 people. So you can take 3 friends with you and go and check that area out as well. Patty touched on the Fowler Kennedy Clinic, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. It is also located in the Wellness Center. So this is that doctor's office that she was talking about. They can help you with all your medical needs. There is a sports medicine clinic available on campus as well. And we do have a pharmacy right here in the Wellness Center on campus. So you don't have to leave campus to have your prescriptions filled. You can do it right here on site, which is fantastic. Pretty much everything you can need right almost in one building, which is awesome. So the phone number for Fowler Kennedy Clinic is on the screen there, but you can also find it on their website as well. To book appointments, you can call them, or if you're on campus, you can pop in and see them and they'll be able to book you in for those appointments. I always like to throw a little bit of healthy eating and grocery shopping tips in for you guys, especially as international students, because I know that can look very different when you come to a different country. Some basic healthy eating stuff. When you're looking at eating healthy, eating a variety of different foods every day. You'll see the picture on there has lots of different colors. Lots of different colors are always good. Focusing on the fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains, and the proteins. Those are always kind of those 4 big things you want to focus on. We want to strive to limit highly processed food as much as we can. I always say choose water if you can as your drink of choice, because there's lots of things out there that have high calories or high amounts of sugar. Think things like energy drinks that students typically gravitate towards. Using food labels to compare and contrast between different foods, that can be really beneficial, especially if it's stuff you're not familiar with. And then being aware of food marketing and how it influences your choices. The example I always use here is the bacon that you now buy in the grocery store that has gluten-free on it, which always makes me laugh because bacon's always been gluten-free. It's never had gluten in it, but it's a marketing thing that people who are eating gluten-free will see that and tend to pick those things up. So being aware of those food marketing ploys and how they impact your eating habits. Tips for shopping on a budget, which is always really important as students. Take a look, ask around to how or where people shop, where the best bargains are. Try some different grocery stores out. Eating before you go to the grocery store is always a great thing because then you prevent impulse buying, is what we call it, where you grab things that you really don't need and put them in your cart. Looking for sales and using coupons, and looking for off-brand items, which is kind of like store brands. Most of the stores here in Canada have their own kind of brand that they use within the store, and often those brands are a little bit cheaper than some of those name brand products. This is one tip that most people don't think about, but when they stock grocery store shelves, they put the stuff that's newest at the back typically. So if you're eating for one, sometimes grabbing from the back of the shelf can actually increase the shelf life of your product. And this can be really beneficial if you're buying something up because it's on sale. So maybe you're going and you're buying 4 cans of soup. Grabbing from the back can help extend the shelf life of that product, which is just an interesting tip I like to throw in. Not so much for the fall, but farmers markets can offer cheaper options for in-season produce. Obviously, heading into the fall, we don't have a huge amount of in-season produce around here. As we go into the winter, that stuff tends to get more expensive, but you can find that kind of stuff in the summer around here. Buying in bulk if possible. Buying bigger batches typically does save you money as long as you have a good way to store it. And preparing big batches of food and freezing leftovers is a really great way to, 1, save you time when you're busy so you don't have to cook every night. And 2, it's a good way to prevent food from going bad. Because I always say when food goes bad and you have to throw it in the garbage, you're pretty much just throwing money in the garbage. Where you can find us. Here is both our social media pages are there. So we are on Facebook and we are on Instagram. And our website there is studentwellnesscenter.ca. So any information that I didn't cover today is probably because we don't have it finalized quite yet for the fall. But as that information is finalized, it will be available on our website there. So that's always a really great place to start. And that's all I have for you guys, unless you have questions.
Yes, if you have questions, you are welcome to either unmute yourself, or if you want, you can post your question in the chat.
Sorry, I'm just pulling up the chat here. Can I play squash with my wife? Yes, so there is a drop-in fee if you are not a student. I believe it's $15 plus tax, but don't quote me on that 100%. So you can bring a guest in, but you have to be a student, and you can bring a guest in, sign a guest in, and there is a drop-in fee. But yes, you can play squash with someone from outside the college. You are very welcome.
Ashley, could you go over what are some of the typical group classes you guys run?
Yes. So right now we're in the process of finalizing our schedule for the fall, but I can tell you the types of classes that will be available. We offer a class called Total Body Conditioning, which is a circuit style class. It includes lots of different things. You'll see TRX in that class, you'll see bands, you'll see hand weights, you'll see tires, you'll see all kinds of different things in that class. We offer yoga as well as always very popular. We are offering in the fall a glutes, guts, and guns class, which is more of a strength-based class. So typically that class will use lots of hand weights and barbells. So that's always a very popular class as well. And then we have spin, which is indoor cycling. So we'll offer that in combination with some core stuff. So typically we teach about 30 minutes on the bike, and then we get down and do about 15 minutes of core stuff. We are also offering in the fall a 30-minute core class. So if you're looking for something a little bit shorter, that one's 30 minutes, and it will be focusing kind of just on core for the most part on that one. 45 minutes. Typically, most of our classes are 45 minutes. With the exception of that 30-minute class we'll be running. So everything else is 45 minutes. You are very welcome.
So the next one looks like it's a question for me.
I was going to say, I am going to leave that one with you, Crystal.
Yes. So if you're coming in prior to September 6th, which is considered the first day of classes, you'll have what's known as emergency coverage for the 30 days prior. So if you and your son are both full-time students, then you'll both have that coverage. So if you arrive to Canada, say on the 22nd of August, and there's some sort of medical emergency, you do have emergency coverage until the 6th. And then you'll be able to print your More Care card as of the 10th day of classes. And we're actually going to have somebody on with us Monday to talk to us about More Care and walk us through all the specifics. Oh, you're welcome. And was there any other questions, anything you weren't sure about that relates to today's presentations? So I think that's probably it for the questions for both of you. I'll stick around for a bit if you guys have any more specific questions about like your health plan or anything else about arriving and stuff. But we will let Ashley and Patty get back to their day. Thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us, Crystal.
Yes, thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, so it's just us left. So if there was any other questions about like arriving, sort of any of the process stuff that I could try to help you with today, we do have some extra time. So if anybody had any questions they wanted to ask, or if not, we can wrap this up early so that you can have some more time back in your evening or morning. See, there's a question here. Let me see. Yes, so when you submit your international student form, you will immediately receive a confirmation number. So this is a generated response back, and it will have a reference number. That means that we have received your form and it will be processed. We are processing the forms usually within about 72 hours, and then it's just a matter of you receiving the confirmation. As long as the flight number is on there and a drop address and everything is clear, you should receive an approval. And if you've requested a shuttle, your shuttle transportation info will also come in that same email. So if you've asked us for a shuttle, then your email will say you have been approved, and it will list your student number and the day of arrival, and then it will also list your shuttle information. So do not be alarmed if you haven't had a confirmation back within a couple days. It just takes some time for the processing on our end and the booking and then the confirmation emails to go out. But if you receive that immediate response back, then it was successfully submitted. Can a co-op student work full-time in Fanshawe? Thank you. So when you're on a co-op, so that is likely going to be a full-time job during that term. So it may be hard as well to work a second job. And usually a co-op is a paid position. So most of our students, I don't think, would attempt to work a second job as well. And for more specifics on what we can work and can't work while on a co-op and stuff, we actually next Wednesday will have an SLC with us. So that's a student life coordinator who also can advise us on some studying and working rules and sort of what we can and can't do. So if you're on a true co-op, you are going to be working full-time, which is likely about 40 hours a week. So you may not have a lot of time for a secondary job. You are welcome to unmute yourself if you'd like to ask a question, or if you want, you can continue to put them in the chat, whatever works easiest for the group. So if you've submitted your international student form and your schedule is still not appeared, it's likely a divisional thing. So not every division had their schedule set and ready to go. So if you haven't received a schedule and you've paid all your fees, you've submitted your form and it's been 48 hours, then I would reach out to your academic division. So that would be your program coordinator, which you should have their contact on your FOL. And they should be able to let you know. And some of these questions are coming in as private. So if you're not seeing them in the chat, that's why. But I'm just answering them to the whole group because potentially there's more than one person who has that question. So as far as a specific session on creating a CV and applying for a job, so Fanshawe Works is actually a 3-day session to help with that. And that's going to be run the last week of August, I believe. I'll have to look up the exact dates, but keep looking, watching our social media posts and stuff, because there's going to be a link to register for Fanshawe Works. And this is a great series, and they'll help you with all that prep. And as well, we did have Rebecca with us this week to talk to us about career services, and they can actually meet with you one-on-one to go over your resume and cover letter and sort of making sure that it reflects the Canadian market, and they can help you with job searching that way. So there is a lot of options and supports for that sort of thing, because most of our international students do want to work while also studying. So we will have, I just see now there's a question about the social insurance number. And so those ones we can't record and they can't be part of the overall series because it is from the government. So there will be virtual sessions coming up on the 23rd of August and on the 30th. So you will be able to register for those and attend those and get help with the SIN process. It's just not part of this series, but it is still hosted by Fanshawe Care. So I'll be back with you guys on those days to assist as somebody is here with us, walking us through the SIN process. And that is on the 23rd and on the 30th of August at 10 a.m. Both of those sessions will be held, and it'll be the same session, just repeated twice, so that if some students miss the first one, you can catch the second one. And we are also looking at doing some actual sessions where you could come in and see somebody in the college. So actual live sessions, not virtual, which is pretty exciting. We haven't done much live in the last couple of years. So we're pretty excited to get back to more of that this year. And yeah, if there's other questions, just keep them coming. I'm happy to answer them. So where can you find a calendar with all of the days off? So if you look on our website at the academic calendar, it's going to show you any days off. So we have what's known as Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if that's around the world or more Western, but that is, pardon me. But that is Thanksgiving, and it's usually the second Sunday in October or first one. So we usually end up with the Monday off. So that'll be a day off. You could have a couple days, kind of like a reading week, a couple days off. Other than that, you'll have your Christmas break. So classes will go, and I believe classes go into the 16th this year, and then you're off until the first week of January. But all of that can be viewed on our website under academic dates. So that'll show you the term and even next term, sort of what dates you are working with time off, which can help you for planning. If you go to our website and just search academic calendar or planner, it should show up for you. I've heard that there's a dog who's a member of our college. Is it true? So there is some areas like, so for example, counseling, they do have a therapy dog. So for some students in sessions, if that is going to help them to feel more comfortable, they can request having the dog to provide comfort. That being said, we don't have dogs registered as students, but they can definitely be used to assist with things. And then we do chill lounges, and often rescue groups are allowed to bring in some of their dogs for students to pet. If you've ever sat and petted a dog or a cat or a rabbit or any of those things, it can be really relaxing and can be really beneficial. I personally love just petting an animal. I'm like, yes, calms me right down. But yes, so there is different activities that you might see dogs on campus and things like that. But we definitely don't have dogs studying at Fanshawe College. And if that's it for questions, I'm happy to wrap it up and give you guys an extra 10 days back, 10 minutes, it feels like a Monday morning today, back in your day or evening. And then hopefully you will all return tomorrow to join us for our housing session. So Glenn Matthews is going to be with us to give us some tips and tricks to finding housing, some things to be aware of, what to look out for. And that's usually a pretty great session for students to learn about. So please join us tomorrow morning again at 9:30, and we will be talking about housing. And everybody, you have a good rest of your night or a good rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Yes, it's the exact same link.